What's good, family? What's good? What's good? Let me know if you can hear me this time. Can you hear me? 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 Welcome, welcome, welcome. They said 3 times is a charm. Can you hear me well? This is going to be kind of weird. I'll explain in a minute. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well? This is going to be a little weird. I'll explain in a minute, loud and clear. Thank you so much. I could tell a little bit difference in the lighting with my tablet. Now, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. They say 3 times is a charm. We won't be able to post this one live on Patreon because of the fact that I'm using the tablet and the process that would be necessary to pull it up, and all those kinds of things. The actual camera is on my right. I'm in landscape mode on this wonderful older tablet of mine. You can see my finger here. So it's not centered. I'm supposed to be looking here while I'm talking. So I feel weird and strange because I'm going to always be looking like this, trying to make sure I look centered. So I'll be looking like this and looking down at my notes at the same time. Thank you all so much for your love and your patience. And you can still share text and tag this if you want to tag, text and share. Again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I most likely would have had to shut my laptop down. I am traveling. And since the fire, I don't have my regular multimedia computer. I had to go back to this laptop, which some of you all remember was acting up before I stopped using it. I'm back to using it again, so didn't pick up any sound. I would have to reboot it most likely to get it to work, and that would take another 20 to 30 minutes because it's slow. So I pulled out the tablet. How do I look? Does the picture look all right to you? I just feel strange knowing that I have to look over here like this, just so it can appear that I'm looking at you. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Let me get through what we do. And then I'm gonna get your feedback real quickly. Put you up on the screen. Grand rising to everybody. Grand rising to everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate your patience again today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can do all things through Christ, through the Christos who strengthens me. I want you to type in the comment section, I can. Come on, type it in the comment section, I can. Type it in the comment section, I can. Come on, type it in the comment section, I can. I can. You need to know that no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what your circumstances and situations are, you got to know that you know that you know that you know that I can. I can overcome, I can endure, I can navigate through any circumstance and situation. I can master and rise above situations. Come on, type it in the comment section. I can. You might be dealing with some situations right now that are trying to present a definition to you that is contradictory to the outcome that you desire. You must speak succinctly and clearly from within yourself to respond by saying, I can. That's it. Type it in the comment section. I can. I can endure. I can rise above. I can overcome any trials and any tribulations. I can. I can. Now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. I want you to type in the comment section, I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. It's important that you know that you know that you know that I am powerful. You are one with the Christos. You are one with God, the creator, source, and sustainer. And you are a powerful spiritual species. Embrace the power, know the power, recognize the power, for you are the power. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. Oh, yes. What a blessing, what an honor, what a privilege it is to know that you are powerful. And don't forget to follow me, family, on the various social media websites on the web. And make sure that you check in daily and weekly to patreon.com/AG Green. Now we've got big changes coming to that, as well as our website on this particular week. I'm excited to be with you on this particular day. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your support. And I appreciate all that you do, all that you've done, and all that you're doing. All right, let me get out of here real quickly. This is a different process here with this tablet. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to get into the teaching and so that I can make sure that nothing else goes wrong. I'm using a different situation with the tablet, the module to stream, and I want to make sure that everything goes well. But let me first check on you real quickly. This is kind of tricky because when I move these things, it's like the whole, the tabs move around. Goodness gracious, this is weird. Here we go right here. This is what I'm trying to get to. What's good, family? What are you eating and sipping, and tell me how you're feeling? What are you eating and sipping, and tell me how you're feeling? The links that I go to or go through to get to you. Trials, tribulations, challenges, but nevertheless, we are here. What are you eating and sipping? And what's good? Sipping on some mushroom coffee, French vanilla creamer. That's all I've had today. Tell me what's good with you. What are you eating and what are you sipping? Real quickly, what are you eating and what are you sipping? I appreciate y'all taking our time to pop on today, regardless of the technical difficulties that we embrace together. I appreciate you as well. All right? What are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling? What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? I keep moving sideways because, again, it's just strange. The camera is actually right here to my left. It's not in the center like it would be on a webcam. So I'm just trying to make some spatial adjustments. Let's see here. Krista says toast, eggs, and sausage, sipping coffee and feeling blessed. Delicioso. All right, here, let's see. Our resident therapist, lemon water, apple cider vinegar, feeling peaceful and aligned with the Almighty. Awesomeness. Says Monica says, same for me, mushroom coffee with vanilla creamer, little salted caramel syrup. Sounds delicious. Waiting on Instacart to bring ingredients for breakfast. Yes. The wonderful, wonderful, wonderful modern world we live in, where we can have groceries or hot food prepared by restaurants if we desire, delivered to us. She says, feeling energized. Anybody else want to tell us what are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling in the moment? What are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling in the moment? Real quickly, we want to hear from you. What are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling in the moment? Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Now, again, I have a limited functionality on this tablet, so I'm just going to mainly sit up here and teach. I can't really putting much on the screen, especially because I didn't prepare to use the tablet. So the helps I like to put up, I can't put up for you today. I had some quotes and different things like that, but I do have my assistants who will put up the scriptures for us. Romans 12 and 2. Romans 12 and 2. Almighty, we thank you for this moment and this time connected by spirit and consciousness. There's an ultimate lesson, an ultimate wisdom that is to be released in us. We yield and submit for your guidance, and we thank you and praise you. Now, we are evolving, transforming, and ascending. Our divine identities are emerging and being displayed. We are co-creating with you a life that doesn't just please you, doesn't just please us, but that positively impacts and influences other people. And we remember the name, the way, the consciousness, and the power of Yeshua HaMashiach. It is so, and so it is. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Happy New Year. And I pray that it is a new you in a new year. This is our first Sunday together in this new calendar year, 2026. And I don't know, I am just thankful and grateful to be here, making some mental adjustments. Let me tell you, about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a time that if this happened, I would have been so frustrated with the glitches I had this morning, I probably wouldn't have even come on. In my pursuit to be a perfectionist and to be professional, I would have felt so royally embarrassed and disgusted that I, after a couple of times, would have just given up. But I'm a lot more patient these days. We have some ground to cover, and I am so thankful and grateful for your love, support, and patience. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone who was on and those who may watch this in replay. Romans 12:2, King James, and be not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. NIV, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, good, pleasing, and perfect will. The world in the Greek is talking about the age, but remember, every age is defined by our species, and our species lives and moves, creates, decides, manifests based on thinking, based on our imagination. So when it's talking about be not conformed to the world, it's talking about its customs. It's, in essence, it's talking about its mentality. It's talking about its uh, think theological, philosophical, anthropological constructs, things that are contrary to spirituality, things that are contrary to your true nature, things that are contrary to your true identity. Now, this is where we're going to start this year. I'm going to revisit some teaching from Do the Work, and I got to go back and make some more points, emphasize some more points on some teaching that I've already done. I'm going to continue to say this until you not only understand it, but you embody it. Now, we're at what we call, on the Western side of the world, our calendar says it's a new year. Again, there is really no new year without a new you. And there cannot be a new you without a new identity. Without a new identity, there can be no new you. It's just as simple as that. Without a new identity, there can be no new you. And if there is no new you, there's really no new year. The years that we occupy what we define as a year, which is from eternity standpoint an illusion, time doesn't even exist. This is something that just exists on this plane that mankind has created to account for the passage of experiences, the passage of what we might call moments. It helps define our existence. I want you to know and I want you to understand that as we desire to have a better life, as we desire to have a better career, as we desire to have better families, as we desire to live in abundance, as we desire to be able to pursue the things our hearts desire or pursue the things that we possess in terms of inner vision, whatever your dream is, whatever your goals are, or even if you're just right now desiring a miracle or looking for a miracle, it's going to stem from your identity. I want you to understand that. Saying something, meditating on something, doesn't always initially change your identity. And what people are doing is when we use these processes and use these technologies, and they are technologies, what's a good way to okay, a band-aid is designed to cover a wound, to protect a wound from the elements, and therefore assist in what the natural body does in terms of healing. So the band-aid may work wonders. The band-aid may shield us from bumping that wound or whatever area of the body it may be contained. But the real magic happens in the body. The real power happens in the healing factor that every body has, every human body has, as we would say. I want you to understand that in all these things we're learning in terms of how to exercise and utilize spiritual technologies, psychological technologies, if you don't understand that they are designed to transform you into the identity of the one who is confessing, praying, meditating, scripting, uh, astral traveling, being consulted, by the spirit or whatever your encounters are, whatever your adventures are, whatever your activities are, you must become it. You must become it. If you have an aspiration to entertain, it's not enough to just learn dance steps. It's not enough to just learn how to sing. You must become it. And if you don't become it, you are not it. And you would display qualities. You would display qualities of an entertainer. But you would constantly put it on the back burner as something that you can actually achieve because you have not become it. This is what I want you to understand. If you want to be healed, you must become the healed. Hear what I'm saying today. If you want to become a doctor, you must become a doctor first. Hear me, before you even take a test, before you even enter into school, before you even enter medical school, you must embrace the identity and the image of a doctor. So a new year requires a new you, which requires inner transformation, mind transformation, again, which means an identity shift, which means an identity change, which means something in us in terms of the old has to die to give way to the new. So hear what I'm saying today. If you have entered this same year with the same old identity, you're going to get the same results of the old identity that you have. It's not going to just miraculously happen without you doing something. And when I talked about the Father doing the work, we're talking about the details of the manifestation of things we desire. But as far as inner work, we've got to do that inner work. And one of our resident therapists will put the title up, and I'll put it up on the screen because I don't even know what it's called. Just make up something more cool with what I said before. Let me read you a definition I was going to put up on the screen for you. I have, 5, 6 different points on what makes an identity, but in the interest and the sake of time, I just want to read one sentence, a one-sentence definition, concerning what identity is. If you're listening, type yes in the comment section. If you're listening, type yes in the comment section. If you're listening, type yes in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Identity is the inner architecture of who I am, a living system of self-meanings, such as personal, social, role-based, and narrative, that creates continuity, organizes choices, shapes emotion, and determines what kind of life I can consistently embody. End quote. Okay, part 1, become the inner work. That's good. So I'm going to read it again. I read it slowly, purposely, the first time since I can't put it up on the screen. But I want you to hear with your heart and hear with your logical mind. Identity is the inner architecture of who I am, a living system of self-meanings. This is another thing we must come to grips with. Your identity is a series of things we have defined either symbolically, most of them are from symbols that we interpret as literal. But these self-meanings can be things that relate to you as a person, who and what you think you are. Your social self-meanings, how you fit in the world and how you believe society treats you and thinks of you. Role-based, the role that you're playing in family, the role that you're playing in society. And narrative. There are outer narratives shaped by the world, but there are also inner narratives shaped by us every second of our lives. Okay? These self-meanings create continuity. What is this continuity? A continuity with the identity that we are forging, the identity that we are creating, the identity that we have defined for ourselves. This continuity can be positive or negative. The continuity can be good or bad. In other words, a continuity of failure, a continuity of thinking failure, a continuity of thinking reactively, a continuity of thinking that things never work out for me, a continuity of thinking that I must always struggle before I achieve. Yes, there's a continuity, a framework that's put in place from an identity perspective that creates a continuity in the things we believe, in the things we desire. Okay? These self-meanings, again, I'm breaking it down, creates continuity, organizes choices. This is another powerful thing. You and I are making choices based on our identity. How many times have we said, well, I did because that's all I had to choose from? I had no other choices. That was the only choice available to me. Or it came down between this choice and that choice, and this seemed like a better choice. Hear what I'm saying today. And I'm interjecting as I go. This is why in my own personal reshaping and reframing of my mindset, I have to constantly ask myself question as I'm plotting and planning, what does the rich, affluent, abundant version of me think? How does the rich, affluent, abundant version of me think? What would he say? What is he saying? This is constantly attuning me into the frequency and the mindset of that me. That me is real, that me exists, and I am merging and allowing that part of me to become active in me. But I must first think from the future self, think from the future version of me. Otherwise, if I continue to make choices, family, based on a lower level, lower vibrational identity, if I continue to make choices from a limited scarcity mindset, watch this, if I continue to make choices from a slavery mentality, enslaved to struggle, enslaved to trauma, enslaved to loss, enslaved to chaos, enslaved to difficulty, if I continue to make choices from that version of me, that identity, I'm going to get the results of that identity. Hear what I'm saying. We'll get deeper into it. These self-meanings, family, shapes emotions. It's a part of our identity. The emotions you and I experience are identity driven. There's nothing that comes into our life that doesn't come through us. Everything comes through us. If a person if a person takes your parking space, that comes through you. That's a person that may appear to be exterior to you in the physical, individualized sense, but the action comes through you. The action, the interpretation of the action comes through you. So the emotion that I release in that moment, the thinking, what's in my imagination, and the emotions I release don't come from the other person, they come from me. Based on how I define myself in the moment, based on my inner architecture of who I am, based on my self meaning, based on my self definition, I'm going to decide from that how I move in the world, how I respond in the world, how I step out in the world, how I move forward in the world. I want you to hear me. You're in a new year, but if you're in a new year with stinking thinking, if you're in a new year with a pauper identity, if you're in a new year with a struggle bus identity, that's the bus you're going to be on all year. Catch this. God's not going to change that. I know people are praying and starving themselves through a fast so they can hear from God and be closer to God. That's a whole nother subject. I used to do it. I have a different take on fasting. I'll discuss that with you. But if they don't change their identity, then they will be right back in 2 to 3 months thinking they need another fast to plead to a deity to do things for them. That codependent mentality, as if I don't need to change the infrastructure of my identity to become in alignment with the things that I want, or to become the one who owns and possesses the things that I want, or have the life that I want. As long as people continue to live without knowledge of that, they'll always be pleading and begging and searching. Our emotions are shaped based on who we think you are. We are people who are confident, even with nothing in their pockets, but believe everything is going and flowing their way. Their emotions, the way they respond to what appears to be a setback, the way they respond to what appears to be a challenge, is going to be different. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you drive a Cadillac, say you drive a fairly new Cadillac, If a Cadillac gets wrecked, does that change what the Cadillac is in terms of its name, in terms of its components, in terms of its inner design, in terms of its functionality? If you change the paint on that Cadillac, does that change? Does it become a Ford? Does it become a Hyundai? Does it become a Toyota? Help me here today. Hear what I'm saying. If you take seats out that Cadillac, does that Cadillac automatically become a bus? Does that Cadillac automatically become another make and model? Y'all talk back to me in the comment section. Does it become a Volkswagen? No, it's still what it is. This is what we must understand. We get to define based on identity who and what we are and how we interpret things that happen to us in our world. You are still great, even if people close to you die. You are still great, even if you get a notice in the mail about a bill that needs to be paid, an eviction or whatever. You are still powerful. You are still dynamic. Just like you can't change the identity of a Cadillac by wrecking it, or a Cadillac by repossessing it, or a Cadillac by putting a new motor in it. Watch this. You can put a Ford motor in a Cadillac if you want to. It's still a Cadillac. You are who you are based on your identity, no matter what happens. Let me keep on with this definition. It shapes emotion and determines what kind of life I can consistently embody. I can consistently embody. I want you to type this in the comment section. Life is what I consistently embody. Type that in the comment section. Life is what I consistently embody. Type that in the comment section. Life is what I consistently embody. I don't know if I'm going to make it to all my notes today because I feel something. I feel the spirit taking control, more control. Life is what I consistently embody. I love my ancestors dearly because, especially the ones that preceded me in the nation I live in, where they were an oppressed, subjugated people. The world, the country suppressed and subjugated them, but many of them still believed they were great. Many of them still believed they were kings and queens. Many of them still believe that they were destined for great things in generations behind them. Why is that? That they embodied a hope and a faith despite present circumstances. I want you to understand that the life you and I live today, we are where we are based on what we've embodied. If we've embodied that my mistakes have always held me back, or I am not good enough, or I don't have enough education, or I'm not intelligent enough, or I don't have enough connections, or I don't have enough certifications. If we embody that, then we're manifesting that. And the embodiment is, it lives in us. It is a part of our the system of life that we are producing, the system of life that we're living, from the psychological to the spiritual to the physiological. Our framing of this world, our framing of this reality lives inside of us. We own that and we possess that. And if I ask a question, many of you all would say, I did not achieve this because of that. And if you believe you did not achieve this because of that, then you're embodying the image and the identity of the person who could not have because of a certain situation and circumstance that took place. We're embodying life every single day, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's us living. It's not anybody else living in this body. It's not anybody else living in our minds. It's you and I living in our mind. I had so many negative things I embodied for years that were reasons that I manifested into reality as to why certain things never transpired for me. And I had to disconnect. I had to kill those thoughts, kill those ideas, crucify them, and allow a me that did not use those excuses and those reasons to emerge. Because again, the future me, that what we call the future me, what some call the ultimate, alternative version or alternative reality, version of me in another reality self that is still tethered and connected to me, does not think this way, does not operate this way, does not flow this way. This last point, and then I'm going to get into my other points, because identity is not just description, it's direction. It's direction. I want you to hear me. Identity is direction. It acts like an internal compass and constraint system. What you repeatedly allow, expect, tolerate, pursue, and believe is for people like me. Catch that. It's for people like me. Well, people like me, we have to take what we can get. That's an identity. I've been there before. One of the reasons why I have to walk a fine line, because I was a civil rights activist for years, and I still believe in the activism thing. What I don't want in my activism is to become a victim. Because in what I've been enlightened to know, I know that race should not hold me back as a divine species. Yes, there are people out here who are foolish and ignorant enough to despise me because of my race or my gender or certain affiliations. Hear what I'm saying today. But I am a dynamic spiritual species of a God class. I am divine myself. What does it say about me if I take other people's ideals, other people's perspectives, hold it true to heart? Once I hold it true to heart and allow it to circulate in my imagination, the God in me that lives in my imagination is going to continue to manifest more roadblocks, more complexity, and more difficulties based on the narrative that has been preached to me that I cannot have this, that, or the other because I am this, that, or the other. So my role in uplifting the species and uplifting the race is not to fall into a ditch and then allow that focal point of other people's hatred and ignorance poison me to the point where it compromises, watch this, my awareness of my own divinity and causes me to use my divinity to work against me. Did that make sense how I just said that? Did that make sense how I just said that? Let me go through a few points here. Because a new year requires a new you. And that new you, family, begins with identity. It begins with the identity that you are. It begins with the identity that you are right now in this moment. And I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I don't do them anymore. I haven't done them in years. For one, I now understand very clearly. That a goal is useless if I don't become the identity of the person who has already reached the goal, the identity of the person who is worthy of the goal, the identity of the person, again, who has already attained the goal. Now, I read this. I read it last week, and you're going to hear some of this again, fine, because repetition is a hallmark of good teaching. So I'm going to continue to teach it until we become it. Again, I'm going to say this. I say it boldly. I don't care how in this nation today and across this world, there are more people probably at church on the first Sunday. I want to start the first Sunday at church. That's how I want to start my year. They won't finish it in church, but they'll start it in church or the temple, the synagogue, or mosque. Listen to this. And by the time month 2 or month 3 goes by, they will have lost all their inspiration. You would have begged, you would have pleaded, you would have fasted for 30 and 40 days, you would have done all kinds of stuff, you would have turned off social media. 2 or 3 months go by, you go back to being who you are and nothing changes. You've played, you've begged, you saw some results for a couple of weeks, you felt better, but because you had not changed, you used a topical dressing, you used a Band-Aid, you used superficiality in an attempt to cover up the deep or the depth, or you threw a sheet, SHEET, on your problem, on your old identity, and expected to pull the sheet off and voila, I'm different. No, you can shift your identity. But if you don't become the thing you're praying about and you're praying for and you're meditating about and that you're begging that deity for, you will never manifest it. Family, manifestation is not about wishing, wanting, hoping, or begging the universe or God for a new life. It is about becoming the version of yourself who can naturally live that new life without contradiction, sabotage, anxiety, or collapse. Becoming the version of yourself who can naturally live that new life without contradiction. Now, here we go. This is an important part of the phrase. Because when we first set out on this journey to become a better version of ourselves, to assume the state of that person, meaning we're thinking like that person, we're conducting ourselves like that person. I was speaking to my love the other day, and I'd already programmed myself that by the turn of the year, I was going to go back to some of my old eating habits, which were more disciplined, just a lifestyle. It's just a lifestyle. I don't diet, I just do a lifestyle. And what I start noticing is that version of me, his thoughts, it's me, I'm saying his thoughts, but it's his thoughts, which are my thoughts, has already started to take root. Okay, I feel the slim down, and even my desire for certain things, because I love me some sweets, family. I love me some sweets. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. Certain things it's being curtailed. It's being curtailed. Oh, you hear me? Because there's an identity of me. Watch this. That weighs the exact amount that I want to weigh. That looks the exactly the way I want to look. Who is making the choices that I want to make? This is what people don't understand. Again, that version of you is successful because of choices. Let's break it down in a different way. The person that you're looking at over the landscape of creation now, that you might want to pattern your life after, maybe a business mogul, maybe an educator, maybe a politician, maybe a well-known, spiritual guru. They are who they are based on how they think, what they imagine, watch this, and the actions they take based on what they think, imagine, that causes them to do. They are who and what they are based on their thinking, their imagination, ultimately their core beliefs. And their core beliefs are acted out or acted on every particular day. Their core beliefs manifest every particular day. So they are who they are based on what they believe and based on what they do. I'm saying to you, the successful you is successful based on what he or she believes and has done. Do you feel what I'm saying today? So sometimes when we start out, it's like we feel a contradiction. This is not really me. This is false. This is yes. To the old you, it is false. To the new you, it's a way of life. To that successful you, who's been practicing this for some time now. That success for you, hear what I'm saying today. That success for you is the one that visits you in the dream. Some of y'all talking about, who's the success for me? The success for me is the one you dream about. The success for you is the one that pops up sometimes in your daydreams, or pops up sometimes in your visions throughout the day, or pops up sometime as a thought. That's the success for you. I know you think that's a figment of your imagination, that is fictitious. It is not fictitious. It is really you, just a different version of you. And many times these versions visit us in dreams. We think it's the Almighty giving us these dreams. It's you connecting to that you, or that you connecting to this you that's emerging in the moment to encourage you, to give you a glimpse, to show you that this version, just as you are this version of me that ascended to this height, you too can ascend to this height, but you will ascend to this height based on your core beliefs and what you do. So it feels like a contradiction at first. It feels phony at first because you're making these changes. Oh, that's not really me. I like this and I like to do it like that. And I like to conduct myself like this. And I like to whatever. You decided you're going to manage your money better, and it feels like this is false because you're deciding you're going to manage, you're going to, pay closer attention. Then a part of you said, but it's really us to be free. And it's you to be free and to be broke. Okay. Hear what I'm saying today. And an abundance mindset, I encourage people to access that, because an abundance mindset is not connected to scarcity. An abundance mindset is also connected to a good stewardship mindset. And an abundance mindset would say, go ahead and spend it because we got it. Watch this. That abundant you is saying we got it, but that abundant you will also say, but let's do it like this. And then we know it's going to be replaced. That's the abundant you. But people are trying to be the abundant self with a scarcity mindset. It feels like a contradiction. Let me move on. Sabotage. Does it become the version of you who can naturally live that new life without contradiction? Sabotage, yes, we're all guilty of that. We take 10 steps forward. We said, I'm doing good. Let me go 5 steps backwards. At least I still made 5 net steps. The goal is to go forward. Anxiety, or even collapse. Even collapse. Hear what I'm saying? We're becoming this version who naturally lives this lifestyle. And we're living it without contradiction. We don't feel like it's a contradiction. We don't feel like it's fake. Hear what I'm saying today. I'm testifying to you as I go, because there are things happening behind the scenes I haven't even testified about yet that's unraveling before me. And I can truly say that I've gotten to a place that things feel more natural in terms of abundance. You'll be amazed at how that can be a struggle for people. If you have had, for example, money struggles, resource struggles for all your life or most of your life, and you start hearing teaching like this and listening to other teachers who are teaching this, you feel good and energized in the moment, but 6 weeks might go by, 6 days might go by, 6 months might go by. And if you have not totally discarded or moved on from that version of you, that image of you, then the particles or the remnant or the remains of it will make you start feeling like this is not genuine, this is not real. Hear what I'm saying today. There's a real internal struggle that happens. And that internal struggle happens because the old you is so used to life being like this until it's scared to think that life cannot be like this. And then that new you wants to embrace life being different, being better, but then the new you sometimes becomes plagued by the old you, because the old you starts trying to bleed through and say, you've made all this progress. What if you lose everything? What if you lose everything? What if all the stuff you gained, the better feeling you have right now, what if you lose that feeling? Am I making any sense to anybody? You have to shut that voice down. You have to shut that negativity down. Let me move on. So people want abundance, but they want to still embody lack. Okay. People want to be peaceful, but they still want to embody hell, trauma, and drama. People want love, but they don't want to release the pains of the past. People want a breakthrough. They want to be free. They want to live a limitless life, but they still want to hold on to the limitations. Hey, I felt the spirit, the living divine. Hear what I'm saying today. We have to become the limitless person. We have to become the person with no limits. Literally. Doing the work, family, it's not optional. It's transformational architecture. It's not optional. It's transformational architecture. I realize now I got to continue to consistently do the work because I got millions of people to bless. I got loved ones to bless. I got children to bless. Come on here. I got a world to impact. I got to leave a legacy. And that old me, that old limited me, that old religious me, hear what I'm saying today, has died. I had to let that go. I have to embrace the identity of the me who's been talking to me, the identity of the me that the I am has revealed to me. It's not optional. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. If you think you have issues with money, then manifest a self that's capable of handling money. Check this out. The future self is not a fantasy. It's the blueprint. I'm going to say it again. The future self is not the fantasy. It's the blueprint. The next time, you don't even have to wait till the next time that future you shows up, or that you in another universe that's living a greater, better life than you. Just start asking that you, or start thinking and asking questions. What does that you think? I got to move on. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. I talked a little bit about the future self theory, identity as destiny. Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they're finished, end quote, Gilbert 2006. So I want to hop on this. I want to emphasize this for a few more minutes. We are works in progress. We are works in progress. Catch this. One of the things that used to trip me up a lot was when I erred, when I made a mistake, when I did something that was displeasing to me, when I did something that I thought was not in alignment with who I was, I immediately condemned myself, beat myself up in the moment, whipped myself in the moment. Hear me, as if I'm supposed to be all that right now. Catch that. Catch that. Not allowing myself enough grace to realize that I'm a work in progress. Yes, there's a me that has all this, which I didn't even know that back then. But even now, I recognize I am a work in progress. Nobody here is finished that's watching me right now. I want you to type it in the comment. Type this in the comment section. I'm a work in progress. I'm not finished yet. Type that in the comment section. I'm a work in progress. I'm not finished yet. That's the reality. That's the literality of what I'm saying right now. Whether it's all right to want to believe you're finished. You should believe you're finished. But this version I'm talking to right now is a work in progress. Type in the comment section. I'm a work in progress. I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. Okay, it's kind of like, watch this. It's kind of like it's kind of like looking at children. I'm blessed to have multiple children. It's kind of like they can be young, and in one moment act so old and so mature, and you're like, oh my Lord, who is this child? Who is this child? And then the next day they can't even wipe their own behind, and the next day They're doing something and acts like they're acting like their age. This is how we are in the metamorphosis process. That work in progress. There are days we're at the zenith, the apex. We look like God. We feel like everything. The world is at our feet, and then something could happen where we don't process and interpret it right, and we start acting like that old us. Am I making any sense? Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Okay? Give yourself grace. The idea that sits at the heart of transformation is this: your future self is a different you with different assumptions, emotional patterns, habits, choices, and energetic signatures. I just said that. I'm going to say it again. Your future self is a different you with different assumptions, emotional patterns, habits, choices, and energetic signatures. And while I'm at this station, let me emphasize this again. You can take the long route and read a bunch of books, which you should, and take a bunch of classes, which there's nothing wrong with that, to help, to help yourself evolve and to transform. But you can also ask that future you, access that future you's thoughts, that future you's assumptions, that future you's emotional patterns, that future you's habits, that future you's choices, that future you's energetic signatures. Do you realize you can access that you right now? Right now. And you can expedite this process. Oh, this is good. This is good. You want to know how, don't you? I'm going to move on. Remember this quote from Hardy: every decision you make is a vote for your future self. Your current self must become subordinate. Absolutely. But I'm teaching you above that, as you're accessing your future self as the current self must become subordinate to the thinking, to the assumptions, to the emotional patterns, to the habits and the choices and the energetic signature of the future you. Mm, mm, mm. Yes, 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 yes. This is what's important. And I'm going to say this again. I know you may not have heard this before. What you think should take 20 years. See, this is why, family, Lord, I'm getting into some stuff here now. I don't want to say too much here on this public broadcast, but you've got access to limitless minds, limitless energy, limitless power right now. Wow. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever, I know this is going to be controversial, but listen, this ain't this, we ain't it, you ain't talking, this is a metaphysical, ascended community. So what I'm getting ready to say, most Christians are not going to agree with it because they live in their own reality tunnel by some legitimate and then some pseudo messengers. But this is what I'm going to say. Have you ever had somebody die that was close to you and you heard their voice and you felt their presence and they're gone physically? Type yes or no in the comment section. Have you ever felt their presence, heard their voice, or even heard their thoughts in your heart and your mind? I'm just going to use those illustrations. I want you to type yes or no in the comment section. It's a yes for me. It's a yes for me. Now you tell me, has it ever happened to you before? Type yes or no. Type yes or no. Many times since our resident mystic. Okay. Now, listen, we got scripture for this, biblical text. Moses on the Mount of Transfiguration wasn't dead. Elijah's allegedly there, wasn't dead. We can go on and on and on. Saul talking to the witch of Endor, which they really try and erase and explain away. Okay. Let me tell you why, family. Because they're not really dead. They're not in this physical body. They're physical, but they're not in the physical appearance you once recognized them as, although they can appear to you as that. They're not in the physical construct, but as a spirit that is pure energy. They move on to the next dimension. Now, hear me. You still have access to them. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said that. I use that as a crude illustration to say, if you can still hear the thoughts of other people, that's not your mind, that's not your imagination, that is still your tethering connection to that individual. And I don't want to get into it because there are many beliefs about what happens after you leave this body, post mortem existence, that maybe one day we'll get into. But my personal belief is you're not disconnected from these people unless you believe you're disconnected from these people. People get all up in arms about the ancestors, and the ancestors can't talk to you and all this other kind of stuff based on what the Bible says. The Bible says a lot of stuff that's contradictory, just like it's got ancestors talking to folks that's living in some portions of the text, but we want to explain that away. So what I'm saying to you is just like that loved one, you're still connected to them. If the more you open yourself up, the more you will hear and connect with them. It's the same way with that you. The other versions of you. You can access the mind, you can access the heart, you can access the ways. You can learn from that version of you that's already a multimillionaire or has that practice or has that business or has retired. Wow. Okay. Let me get back to identity. I want you to type this in the comment section. Identity is the source code from which your life is rendered. Type that in the comment section. Identity is the source code from which your life is rendered. Type that in the comment section. Identity is the source code from which your life is rendered. I want to finish this point. Can I do one more point after this? Then I'm going to shut it down. I know we had some technical difficulties. We got on late. Okay. But I want all y'all to stay with me. Identity is the source code from which your life is rendered. Who knows what a source code is? Anybody know what a source code is? I don't care if you got to Google it. Put it in the comment section what a source code is. Real quickly. What's a source code? Somebody type it in the comment section your definition of a source code. And while you're typing that, identity is the source code from which your life is rendered. That is profound. It's the source code, and I'm waiting on somebody to put that definition up in the comment section. It is the source code from which your life is rendered. So coders and everything in the modern day world that is related to technology has a code, a source code. And everything else that the phone does, for example, the phone that you might be watching me on, or the computer that you might be watching me on, the TV you may be watching me on, okay? I want somebody to put in a definition of what a source code is. Okay, let me see here. Okay, somebody's got programming. Thank you, Whitley. Let's see, Mystical says a program of system and values inputs. Okay, and Monica says human readable text containing instructions written by programmers in a programming language, forming the foundation of software that's good and apps. The C's. Pam says the root of which something is formed. Okay. And Krista says source code, text listing of commands to be compiled or assembled into an executable computer program. All these are great definitions. So ultimately, family, the device you're watching on, for example, there's a source code that enables you to check your text messages. There's a source code that enables you to go to your email on your phone and check your email. There's a source code on your computer that enables you to transition from one window to the next, open up a data processing program like Windows or Google Spreadsheet or what's Google's other program? Google Documents. Those are all source codes. What I want you to understand is that if the source code is not written with those functions or written, watch this, with the ability to build on top of it, you can't build on top of it. If it's not written with the ability to be able to expand or have something expanded with elasticity and flexibility, then there are certain functions that will not happen. Let that absorb that. This is why identity is important. So just like in a phone, in a tablet, in a computer, or in these high-powered computers that provide us, that controls electrical grids, that controls the armed forces connected to all of our stockpiles of weapons, fire, whether they can be released or not released. Hear what I'm saying today. It determines what can and cannot be done. So ultimately, this identity, which is the source code, it determines your limits. Your limits. Again, people, you and I, as spiritual species who possess these physical avatar bodies, we will not go beyond, watch this, check this out. Let me paraphrase that. You got unlimited source code, but you think it's limited. What identity does is, identity, which is related to persona, watch this, is built by us as spirits in the psychological mental world, built in the brain, watch this, but it's built on top of unlimited source code. That's a good way of saying it. You as a spiritual being, you have a source code as a spiritual being. Hear what I'm saying today. So for example, the physical body cannot walk through walls. It does not have the source code in the physical DNA to do that, but the spiritual DNA can. The spiritual you can. Watch this. I don't want to scare nobody, but the spiritual you, when you get to a certain level, can literally override the natural you and cause you to do things that you cannot do with an identity that says this is not possible. So identity is important because it determines limits. There's some folk watching me right now. I have no doubt in my mind that if you take the limits, not off the creator, because, and you've done that too, so yeah, you should take the limits off the creator. If you take the limits off yourself, even if it's just to love you more, to embrace you more, to give yourself grace and space, to be better, to be greater, you'll be amazed as to how that's going to connect with the original source code that you have as a spirit programmed in you by the creator. Check this out. Let me say this while I'm at this. From time to time, your spiritual essence, your spiritual being, which is the real you, will show you that you're greater than physical. Okay? It will reveal things to you that the brain doesn't know. It will take you places in the ether that you've never visited before. And then you visit it in the physical land and say, I feel like I've been here before. You have been there before. It will reveal knowledge to you that you sitting in your house 1,000 miles away, 500 miles away, 3,000 miles away. There's no way you could have known it. There's no way your brain had access to that information. You didn't scroll the internet. Nobody told you, but you knew it. That's the spiritual source code revealing to you. Oh yeah, we got access. We got access to a supernatural internet. Identity determines limits. So again, if you think, watch this, if you think your eyes are too big to hold a certain position, you're holding yourself back. You are the identity of a person whose eyes are too big, in your opinion, to allow them to have access to a job to become like a stewardess or something like that. Here's what I'm saying today. Limitations of intelligence, limitations of love, limitations on cars you can own and houses you can live in. Folks around here wishing, oh, I just wish I was good enough, wish I had enough money to see what it was like to live on the other side. Stop wishing and become the person who's living on the other side or living like the other half lives. Identity determines choices. I said that before. Your relationships. Some of y'all reaching down. You're reaching down. Some of y'all are settling for less because you believe that's what, that's all I can get. It's all I can get. Hear what I'm saying today, especially women. Don't ever let society decide for you because you've got children that you can't prosper. Don't ever let society decide for you because you got children. You can't hold certain jobs. You can't have love. You can't have peace and joy. Oh, because you did this and you should. No, 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 no. You get to decide that. I felt that in my shana. Hear me? Don't ever let society decide, oh, you came from a certain pedigree, a lower level pedigree. This is what they put you in, like a caste system, and nobody in your family has ever done this before. So you shouldn't expect to do it either. Listen, listen, listen. Don't make choices based on other people's opinions. You and the divine, you and God have an opinion. That's the opinion that means the most. But if you accept these folks' opinions, you'll find yourself living in the same limited orbit they are in and have been in generationally. Identity determines your relationships. It determines opportunities. Yes, it does. It determines boundaries. Yes, it does. Identity determines your interpretation of reality. I said identity determines the emotional baseline you live from. I want you to type this in the comment section. I want you to type this in the comment section. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. Type that in the comment section. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. I don't know if I have time to get through the second point or not. I think I'm gonna stop. I might stop here unless y'all tell me to keep going. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. I want you to type that in the comment section. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. My greatest spiritual ally. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. Again, people attribute that to, oh, they just dreaming, but you can't get nothing by dreaming. No, 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 no. We're not just talking about dreaming as an exercise of the mind, imagination as an exercise of the mind. We're talking about an imagination as manifestation. Imagination as creation and manifestation. Imagination as creation and manifestation. But again, that future self is the me. Stay connected. Stay connected to that you that's happy and fulfilled, because it's really not just about things. It's not about things. It's about fulfillment. It's about being aligned with the Creator. It's about being aligned with the best version of you as the best version of you. It's about being aligned with purpose. My future self is my greatest spiritual ally. And I leave you with this thought today. I leave you with this thought today. I said it, I believe, last week. I'm going to say it again, but I want to emphasize it for a few minutes. I want you to type this in the comment section. Manifestation is identity migration. Manifestation is identity migration. Manifestation is identity migration. I was started out years ago as a pastor in the traditional church, and we started out small and we grew to several hundred people. And the people that I was closely connected to, wonderful people in ministry. Some of them always had small congregations, and others had been in these small buildings for the duration of their ministries. My father was blessed. It took us decades, but we built a church from the ground up. And as I'm pastoring there in Southeast Missouri years ago, I'm traveling, I'm going to conferences, I'm listening to high level preachers and teachers at that time, people I admired back then. And I start taking on the identity of a person who was pastoring a living, vibrant ministry that was really impacting lives, that was not hung up on money, that was not hung up on titles, but had a servant's heart in mind. We started out in the basement of a house. We moved into the back of an office complex after that. We moved from an office complex into sharing time in the church, a little bitty country church. And we moved from there into a multi-million-dollar facility. How did that happen at the time? Because I started seeing myself as the one who was on that level. Are you catching what I'm saying? I didn't realize at the time that manifestation was identity migration. I knew it was a form of faith. It was a part of faith to believe and position myself in my imagination to be there. I knew I was exercising faith, but I didn't know it was identity migration. Catch what I'm saying today. If you're driving that hoopty, you've got to become the person who drives the newer vehicle. Your identity has to shift where you literally see, sense, and feel yourself in the vehicle, that it is yours and that you own it, not that you're trying to own it. One of the challenges in desiring something is separating between the desire and with that desire, not believing and feeling and transmitting a message to the universe that I desire it, therefore I don't have it. This is why the best teachers always teach you past tense. Faith is a past tense entity. It's a past tense spirit. It's a past tense thing. So you have to move from desiring to already acquiring to already having, which means I have to shift. My faith creates an identity that migrates me to a place where I already have. Hear what I'm saying today. There are things that you require in your life right now. Stop thinking I don't have it. Stop acting like I don't have it. Act, watch this, catch this. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Say there's a particular amount of money that's required to pay a bill. Say there's a particular amount of money that's required to take care of something. Do you know who you have to be? Yes, you want to be the person that's abundant. Absolutely. You want to be the person that's fulfilled. Absolutely. But you also want to be that you that already has. Do you catch what I'm saying? Can I let y'all in on a little secret? Can I let you in on a little secret? Say yes or no. Can I share one of my little secrets? I've shared it before. It's not really a secret. I'm just saying it's a secret. But I'm going to share it with you again. Can I share something with you? Can I share something with you? Can I share something with you real quickly? Okay, I got one yes. I only got one. Can a brother get some more yeses up in here? Can I? Okay, I got enough. Yes. Okay. Can I get a third yes? Can I get a third? Can I get a third yes? A third yes. Third yes. 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 Will there be a third yes? Will there be a fourth yes? We got three. We got three. Okay, three yeses. Sorry. When I learned when the Spirit leveled me up, showed me how to level up with my own prayers. and level up in partnering with people to manifest their prayers. Let me tell you what I do. And I pray for people on Etsy. Some of y'all should go by that store, Divine Species Shop. It's on Etsy too. And personally. Now, everybody has certain abilities. The abilities, people just don't know how to work it. Number one, when you desire something, you can't make it a priority. If you make it a priority, you're sending a message to your subconscious. You're sending a message to your spirit essence, which ultimately is sending a message to the world that I'm desperate and I don't have it. We don't want to send that message. There's a text that says, let the weak say that I am strong. The weak are not supposed to be hollering about how weak they are. The weak are supposed to be declaring they are strong, past tense. Catch this. I sense and feel that it's done. Then I see the method of communication as to how people are going to reach out to me to tell me that it's done. Now, I got one more thing I do that I'll tell you about. I've been taught how to create a manifestation dimension that I spend quote unquote time in. But when I'm praying for you, I'm seeing the you that already has it. That you that already has it is coming forth to testify. Whatever I create in my mind as is going to be in alignment with you that already has it. What things soever you desire when you pray, believe, Yeshua said that you receive them. And ye shall what? Shall what? Have them. That's biblical text. And I've quoted from Upanishads, I've quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, the Veda text, symmetrical continuity in terms of conscious creation and using faith. I say this in my closing. Become the version of you that already has it. See it? You might write it down. You might be thankful and write it down in the past tense. You might create a short scene where you're texting somebody. Thank God the money came. I got everything I needed. You feel it, you know it, and watch this. After you do it, family, that's migration, identity migration. That's manifesting identity migration. Then you walk away from it. What happens is when you walk away from it, sometimes the spirit will give you ideas as to who you need to connect with, what you need to do, the different moves you need to make, or the things you need to say. But you must first become the one who already has it and create a scenario, a scene, or a circumstance, whether it's scripting it out, one sentence is all it takes. Sometimes a paragraph helps, or just envisioning you reaching out to contact a person. It's never failed with me. And it's not that it has to be verbatim. For example, I have people call me over the last 2-3 years that wanted jobs. They didn't say it necessarily exactly the way that I imagined it, that I created the manifestation. But in essence, they said pretty much the way I had envisioned it or the way I wrote it. It's a faith thing. Then I let it go. I don't need to micromanage it. I don't need to beg and plead. I don't need to wonder if it's going to happen, not going to happen, or they're going to get it, or they're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. I don't do that. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. And I'm encouraging you right now. I'm encouraging you right now. Allow your identity to migrate to the person who has already received that which you desired. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Talk back to me. What you thinking? Tell me how you feeling. Can you hear the music, and does it sound all right? If it sounds strange, I'll turn it off. How does my voice sound with the music playing? It's really low. And I'm going to pray for everybody who's present here on this broadcast, every single person. Is there something, matter of fact, let's do this. Is there something, make sure this volume is up. Is there something you want me to agree with you on right now? Is there something you want me to agree with you on right now? Matter of fact, let's connect right now by the Spirit and manifest with other people. Let's do that. So this is what we're going to do. I want you to put in the comment section one thing that you desire for us to partner with you and manifest with you. Type it in the comment section. Type it in the comment section. I appreciate your wonderful, wonderful comments, everybody. I'm so thankful for you. Mm-hmm. One thing in the comment section. And what we're going to do, family, is we're going to use our own individual methods to manifest with that person. So, for example, if a person puts in the comment section a car, then when you leave this broadcast or before you leave this broadcast, you get to decide how you learn about them receiving that car, how you create the version of them that manifested the car. It might be money. You get to decide with faith how that version emerges to let it be known that it's done. Real quickly, if you got one prayer request you want us to co-manifest with you, oh, this is good. Come on, let's do it together. It's a new year, new us, new year. Come on, new you, new year. One, I'm not telling you to put no private detailed stuff. No, just one thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got the first one up. Thank you for the transparency and your courage. So she wants a yes, family. She wants a yes, family, on multiple emails that she sent out and I'm sending out today. She wants a yes. Okay, so hear me. We quoted from Yeshua. I gave you some things that I do. Now, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I see right now. I see the version of her. I already know how I'm going to create that. Now you create your own, whether it's verbally speaking prayers, whether it's you doing it in meditation, in visualization or imagination, whether you're praying a scripture, however you do it, we're going to partner with Hillary for the yes. Okay, here's the next one. Stronger mindset. There we go. All right. So yes. All right. Right. Yes. Thank you. All right. You see the next prayer request on the screen there. See the next one. Okay. You see the next one. Okay. Here's another one coming up. Here we go. That's the next prayer request. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Here's another one. Anybody else before I release you today? You're going to, in your own way, the way you pray, you're going to agree for the manifestation of all these prayer requests. Okay? You have enough power. You have enough authority to co-manifest this. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay? Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. See that prayer request that's on the screen? We got another one. We got another one. It's my sister there. All right. Pray. See the end. Envision. Sense it. Feel it. Know it. Embody it. Yes. These people have come forth to testify. And you are seeing the end. You are seeing it manifest. Now I'm going to pray collectively. Almighty, I'm so thankful and grateful for every person who shared their prayer requests today. We're in complete agreement as a community. And I thank you that every request, every single request is answered. Thank you. We draw upon the name, the frame, the power, and the example of Yeshua HaMashiach. It is so. And so it is. Talk to me, family. I sense the presence. Some of you already sense the answer. You feel the answer. There's a quiet confidence. There's a calming effect. Some of you feel a presence. You feel God. You feel strength. You feel encouragement. You feel empowerment. That's just merely a witness. You as the Spirit witnessing what's taking place right now, what's already done, what's already finished, what's already completed. My, 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 my. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling. But I'm going to release you. I want you to give your offerings today, family. I want you to give today. I want you to give today. I want you to give today. Okay? Donate as you're led to. But tell me how you're feeling, and I'm going to release you. I'm going to release you. And the opportunities to give will come up on the screen. But talk to me real quickly, family. How are you feeling? You got to know. You got to see yourself. For the ones who made the request, you also get to see. It's your life. It's your reality. You get to partner with God to manifest the outcome. You get to partner with the divine to manifest the outcome. Do you know that you know that you know that you are that version of you that's talking from the perspective of it being answered? Yes, 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 Melvin. Absolutely. A great year. A great year. Watch this. A great you, Melvin, in a great year. Some things are being detached and disconnected from you. People, Melvin, people are being detached and disconnected. Or whoever's watching me as at Melvin. Detachment and disconnection. New people are coming into your life. It's like a new season of opportunities, a new season of healing, a new season of growth. And I hear the Spirit saying, Melvin, do not be afraid to let some old things go, Melvin, for you are merely making room for the new. Do not be afraid to let the old things go, Melvin. You are merely making room for the new. Yes, yes, yes. It is so. And so it is. Let's see here. Feeling confident that all things are working together for my good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Share your feelings before we log off today. And again, I want you to start believing that you're blessed to be a blessing to others as well as to this broadcast. We're so thankful and we're so grateful for you. Wonderful. Feeling awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to release you the shalom blessing. And thank you again for your support and your patience on today. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing, nothing broken. It is so, and so it is. Your prayers are answered. Your identity has migrated. And whatsoever things ye desired when ye prayed, ye believed, and ye received it. And I'm so thankful. I'm so excited for you. Enjoy. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the Light Through Revolution, Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App $AG Green and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments and just explore divinespeciesshop.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.